the development and model the possible impacts on our petroleum prices and prepare measures to protect the recent gains that we have made. Let me begin with the cornerstone of our national vision, and that is peace and security. Without peace and security, there can be no progress. We acknowledge and applaud the efforts of the Regional Security Council, our traditional leaders, opinion leaders, religious bodies, and community groups for sustaining peace and social cohesion in the Northeast region. This is no small feat, especially in an era when conflict in neighboring regions is threatening our stability. As your president, I remain committed to supporting these efforts with targeted national interventions, including logistical support for our security services, greater investment in community-based early warning systems, and collaboration with the National Peace Council to preempt and manage conflict situations. Under the NDC's 2024 manifesto and the 2025 budget, we are strengthening our national peace infrastructure, including deploying peace education curricula in our schools and empowering our chiefs with conflict mediating tools. Peace is not negotiable. It is the foundation upon which all development rests. I was last week with His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, and he briefed me on the progress being made to achieve a lasting peace in Boko. I want to thank my father, the Nairi, for the important roadmap to peace that he presented for consideration by the Otumfuo. I'm sure the traditional solutions we are seeking to the Boko crisis will offer us the opportunity for a sustainable peace very soon. Meanwhile, as Commander-in-Chief, I have instructed the Armed Forces to provide armed escort and protection to all vehicles traveling within the Boko area, along the Boko-Pulmakum-Bolgatanga corridor, and also along the Walwali-Bolgatanga corridor. And I wish to inform the registrar that the trucks of food that were stranded have been escorted and they are no longer in Bolgatanga. They have reached their destination safely. I'm proud to announce that in line with the NDC 2024 manifesto to establish a public university in all the 6 new regions, I'm happy to announce that a public university will be established in the Savannah region. It will be a university whose focus will be on agriculture and the allied sciences. This university will train the human resource necessary to drive our Feed Ghana program and agriculture for economic transformation agenda. The university will not just be symbolic, it will be grounded in our national agenda for skills-driven development and aligned with our national education expansion framework and the 2025 budget, which allocates increased funding for tertiary infrastructure in deprived regions. Your Royal Majesty, additionally, I have asked the Ministry of Education to establish a STEM senior high school in Tinga in the Bole district, and to set up a TVET Center of Excellence in Salaga. These will provide hands-on vocational training in ICT, construction, green technologies, and agribusiness. To support teacher development, I'm pleased to announce that the Savannah College of Education in Daboya, which was previously a private community initiative, has now been officially absorbed as a public teacher training institution. I've directed the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission and Get Fund to fast-track the recruitment of staff and infrastructure development in the school. Furthermore, work on the abandoned College of Education at Doli near Bole, which was begun under my previous administration, will resume this year. I'm proud to announce...
Sought our intelligence and constitutional processes. When 2 very qualified justices sought appointment, the NDC screamed about judicial bloat, Now, with 7 nominees, they discover urgent constitutional necessity. Such breathtaking inconsistency exposes an administration driven by political calculation, not constitutional principle. To our nominees, you seek to join an institution whose legitimacy rests on public confidence in your constitutional fidelity. You must become guardians of our fundamental law, not instruments of executive convenience. The Supreme Court's authority derives from moral standing, not political alignment. True judicial independence requires constitutional courage, deciding cases on law and precedent, not political preferences. It means protecting minority rights against majoritarian excesses. It means sometimes disappointing those who appointed you because the Constitution demands nothing less. This committee bears solemn responsibility for ensuring only nominees demonstrating unbending commitment to judicial independence receiving approval. We must probe not merely legal knowledge, but constitutional philosophy and commitment to deciding cases without political consideration. To all participants, embrace robust discourse with dignity, ask hard questions, challenge respectfully. Our democratic maturity is measured by our ability to disagree with purpose while maintaining civility. To Ghanaians watching, witness democracy in action. Tolerate provocative questions. They are democracy's oxygen. We are insult our integrity.
In relation to Justice Tokono, I think it is inappropriate, but let me just indicate that there is nothing procedurally questionable in terms of the processes that Justice Tokono is being taken through, because the Constitution is clear in terms of what the process is, and that process has been followed diligently, and efforts to question that process in the Supreme Court has not been successful. And so I find it inappropriate that before a committee of this nature, the minority leader will be questioning the process. And on the issue of accusation that this government is engaged in double standards, I think that is also not appropriate. The nominees are before you for you to vet their suitability, and to say that this government is engaged in double standards is totally inappropriate. I was on the appointments committee when the 2 nominees were rejected. And let me indicate clearly that my side of the House advocated for the rejection on the basis that at that time.
Yes, my Lord.
Thank you very much. The legal education in Ghana is confronted with multiples of issues. Initially, we had it only at Makola, but we had emerging universities. So the students were not getting admissions. Then it was decided that we should have 2 campuses. Then we have Gimpa and Kumasi. Still, there is an issue. We have an issue. The issue about admission, even though last year the law school tried to admit about 1,400 students. But how many students are turned out from the universities every year? We used to have only 3, 4, 5 universities, and now we have about 13, including those who do this outside the country. So at the end of the day, if you look at those who sit for the entrance exam, you may get about 3,000, 4,000, and the school can take only about maximum 1,400 students. So here, there could be a policy decision. The policy decision that I read online was that why don't we allow some of the schools to do the bar, and we use the law school as we use the law school as examination center, accreditation, monitoring and evaluation, and other departments to ensure that the integrity of legal education is not compromised. So we can have it. We can have, because it is a policy decision, and as a judge, I don't want to delve into policies. But what I will say is that if the most important thing is that if feasible studies have been done and it has revealed that this one is better than what we have now, there is nothing wrong. I will only have an issue with it where there is no feasible studies, where there is no feasibility studies, and we are just jumping the gun. But where we are satisfied that we have examined this, and this is the better option, we should go for it. Thank you.
To lawyers to start from the lowest bench. Quite often, lawyers who want to join the bench will want to join it from the superior court. But when we talk about the work of the courts, it's those down there who normally do the bulk of the court. Indeed, when we are talking about access to justice and quality justice for that matter, it starts from down there. So therefore, to attract lawyers to start from the lower ebb of the ladder, then it means that the condition of service must be very, very attractive. I myself, when I started, I was also saddled with going to other courts. It was because there were no lawyers available to be engaged. Not that they are not available, but they didn't find our conditions of service attractive to come to start from the lower. So the solution to the problem is that the conditions of service of the judges, particularly at the lower bench, must be attractive for the lawyers to start from there. I believe that if the conditions of service are attractive, many lawyers will join the bench.
First and foremost, we have this minerals and mining laws. And the offenses that the law creates are deterrent enough to punish people who are involved in galamsey. What is left is the implementation, the effective implementation of the law. So I think there should be a collaboration between the service and then the police or the enforcing authorities. After all, we are fighting a common cause. If we allow this to go on, and in the next 5 or 10 years, we are importing water because all our water bodies are destroyed. Can we bear it? One area I also want to maybe hammer or suggest is that there are foreigners who also engage in this, say, activities, destroying our forests and the rest of it. You know, when they are arrested, especially these Chinese people, when they are arrested and sent to the court, the difficulty is that they don't speak English. Even if they can, you know, they understand English, they will refuse to speak English. And because the judges or the police enforcement agencies also are unable to speak their language, it becomes more and more difficult to get them prosecuted. So I will suggest strongly, or I recommend, that the judges who are in the areas where these galamseys are going on, the judges must either be taken to China for further studies in Chinese language, or they should fashion, the DTI must be resourced to bring experts to come and train our judges. That will also is another way of, because if the person has committed offense and he can't speak, you can't prosecute him. Then it's as well saying that, oh, let me leave him for him to go away. So that is the recommendation I will make. Thank you.
But Lord, why not get interpreters?
Oh, that is also good. It's another point. But you see, the interpreters themselves, sometimes they are also a problem. So if the judge himself understands the language, language, it will be better said for them to understand what he is doing, what she or he is doing, and for us to, be able to kept the menace of Galamsey. Thank you.
Unfortunately, over the years, things have gone down, and that's what we try to revive by setting up the Bukom Boxing Arena. It's actually an academy because it's got hostels, it's got classrooms and all that. And the intention was that we'll scout and look for young talents all across the country and bring them to live and train there and go to school at the same time, you know. And so we're going to have teachers teach them so that they don't miss on their lessons and all that. Unfortunately, after I left office, that dream, you know, was put on hold. But we have the opportunity to take it up again. My one regret is I didn't build it bigger than it is now. I realized that. I thought that 4,000 was enough to come and see a boxing match, but it looks like we need a much bigger arena to contain the new interest that is coming up. Unfortunately, over the years, things have gone down. Agriculture is the backbone of development, and it should be so in the Northeast region. But the future of agriculture lies not in subsistence farming. It lies in commercial production and agro-industrial transformation. I've asked the CEO of the Ghana Exim Bank to continue and complete the Waliwali watermelon factory and prepare it for commissioning as soon as possible. In addition, I'm pleased to announce to you that with support from the World Food Programme, we're going to establish a modern rice mill in Jadima in the Mamprugu Mwaduri district. This project is expected to process over 30,000 metric tons of locally grown rice annually, and it will create over 2,000 jobs with a focus on women and children and youth. It will also reduce post-harvest losses and then anchor a local rice value chain that will reduce our import dependence. When this rice mill is completed, I have asked the National Buffer Stock Company to procure all the rice that will be produced there. We'll pay for it and buy it and supply it to our secondary schools to feed our children. Agriculture is the backbone.
ba Kessben television so ene banada busumi nsia omomo busumi da etoso edo enson wa fimpi mi no ne aduono nom 17th of June 2025 edo banada nwumre se ne transe adwenkyere medie ne de bro e wa Kessben television so obenya ye multi TV decoder na so DSTV channel 364 and afi Gold TV channel 121 Facebook so your Kessben TV ya ko Facebook live with me stream ho na de ye kan nyina so oni yen so atoto adwen we e amanyo sem dwumadie eno ntidu brada nwumre se am so so agye nkonwa a oni ye beka abomu na ya dwenwe ne kwane ya Ghana men so ene me koso for ma yedie ho no nyina betimi etu eso sana e dwenwe ho ne apre yedie ama oban me de Kofi Appiah mala me ya na ebo me chidom na ensemo be di ho nkomo ene no ebi efa Ghana men sikasem wonim se na aban ayehye senka obeje to bi e de energy sector levy 1 cedi per liter of fuel nanso Israel and Iran tokwanentino aban se watwe asensen enra petrol bo na bafom kakra ba akọ world market dwaman so a petrol bo no ekosoro so the SCA ebenya sansu wo Ghana skasem ho ama omampene se waka kire finance minister se wontu anamo wabembo ama sa global crisis a eba enamo tokwa ekoso e Israel and Iran man temo no enya sansu Ghana meso enra Fitch international credit rating omo upgrade Ghana your credit rating no e de call B- and can they selective defaults say o de ka hwi antimintua edoko B- say enema ayeye kakra ni nyina agina say Ghana debt restructuring e ka na ede amanone etimi ni akafo na keka ama more than $13 billion ya restructure e ka no to mu no safe de isikasem etumpom edi samanyoku so ma yade na akọ MPP afema Dr. Gideon Wakon was debt restructuring no omo ye last year December and on me restructuring ti eno ehon faso e na ma ye hunu de ehunu ya ma Ghana ya upgrade credit rating no e be di enkomo who is performing better NPP na toto ne mayi ana NDC okay say betodwa say Ghana a growth rate no for the first quarter a 5.3% and also Dr. Adam editor just say the NPP for year no and na so the first quarter no na NDC munye yi omo penufo kra nwie ti January February March they can't take credit for that aban so kire say the why year no and so abama growth rate no e cost change the anticipated figure na omo expectation be do for 5% now 4.3 and now 4.5 but se nya 5.3 dia na ban che se waye ade pa nemum se etuoto e wo mode isa e ka wiase amanyina e no kre se Russia Ukraine war nyanso so Ghana sikasem so na Israel Iran war no so e benyanso so Ghana sikasem so ana bedi ehon enso enkomo rakeno frata kane swafo iskasem so nra na yere de krata ba se nekru akoye prostate cancer surgery nyame adom na ne hoto no a obeba Ghana nti OSP said no ka se yenkofa no mra ne ade ni nyina no papa no yade ntia oni baabi akọ Ghana eye ne man yebekọ NPP osuruko koku amanyoko no so asoye ene party no eye enhyemu chinchinchi bi e wo masoye e wo enkran na mu wieye no na say omo constitution omo ayen sakrai wo mo review constitution no benefo no kotrase no omo agye atum the fallout from the meeting say NPP amanyoko no nyame ya adom a yesi 2026 ma January 31st January omo to aba ayi omo flag bearer tenie pa say January 2026 NPP ebeyi omo flag bearer kaya party ne mra dada omo de ye adwuma na ka afi we twam ne esi afoforo no mu 2026 no obato aba e wo polling station no mayi polling station executive omu yi a no mayi constituency executive omu yi wi a no mayi regional executive omu wi a no mayi national executive edika 2026 ne ebeson by December hono mayi flag bearer se kan na party ne mra na che se so omu opposition ebe kan fie mienu amia to aba enomi flag bearer intika all things being equal kabia by November ending 2026 no may flag bearer na just won fie mienu a or be campaign party pen focus share ne no omo chese sebe ya kabo mu omo pen bebe mu nti no you see afufure mu a January na no omo ye flag bearer. This means that there's going to be a top bottom approach. Sanke be polling station for na constituency na regional na national executive say you flag bearer awie na awie na de aka no see be national san ya ba form and I say we start every form and not the name. Do you see something that's going to help the party? And as I say DNT na omu di mirika e flag bearer ntem obra na kaka na omu twa me kan fie mi no sana mo your flag bearer for the next election. For Adwenkyere bre WhatsApp line and I text line 0551 599 933 0551 599 933 so na yeni enkomo enumre penifo na enu omudi dwuman Dr. Enoch Echampon we lecturer e o KNU Susuapom o sanso NPP Kuba amapa oha Ura Hussein Ibrahim enso NDC Kuba mapa omo kasama NDC makumu baako ono so ha ya penifo mienu ene no bidi nkomo ewo ene enwumre dwumadi enso so a wotie enso a wohwen wonso ka ho bi Adwenkyere ba brepem be kan amamanfo nso atibi mame ma badwafo akwaba nsha se doctor akwaba na ho ye de kai ti ye de she se na se de odu hu siem kakra
obenda
anumentu ogira o
anumentu ogira zanzan se ya na ja odu hu asie kakra ba nyame adom bibi aboko me hoye Christ in tea.
Right.
That's it. The method is for any chiasa.
Okay.
Christ in tea. No, I just made a dish. Into Christ in tea, made a dish.
Right. That's it. What's in? Akaba. It's all here, pa. Okay. So microphone, mommy. Yeah. So. Right. Doc, I'm just so. And the party in Penufun mu amokoye. This is just a quick one. Who be you flag bearer sana? Said the canin can we executive ni na no. I feed them some money abrepa.
Family that's my mefa konyes na mincha for near tea for be our jeja and you re and our shame. A betcha said the be a million offer. Mu bi frechi ti nyakwanya de bia na pese eche ekrum fo achi ne nyese bia me krum kwa na wa na ofa conditions a nyini wo mu ne ntino na de bia ka se frechi ti meko me krum adanse abo number 2 o adanse asoka district meche obi bia enyume wo hwe wo adanse asoka district nyina ofa asema odi atuje NPP we no the mechanic say a meeting fall out sure say officially my issue statement enti me no metwen
statement bi on
metwen na official statement ya sign from JFK na ya de atudwa no na yehunu modalities no na say we be can fa ho because one hwe you see media there sometimes we meet and say obete no hwe we can say baby akire no na ente se de wote no mimum de se sanet ya be me nwa kakra
okay
se sanet ya de be me nwa kakra because se o pese we nipo be di party ni ma think say omo beto aban say nyina agitum say your issues with the current arrangement there and until I was say yes then I was saying nsesa nyina affect all levels in the sense san be affect all levels there. I don't think the flag bearer position should be an exception so until media metwen na fe constitutional amendment no so no the Congress ama Congress are jatumu menim see benya copies ye be kan na they compare the old one na ya hwe the new one new ma ebem then na fe ya make and submission and then issues out of it the offer kakra meeting I can found
okay okay me that's it doc Zain
offer
I meet you
offer the kind match out for Judicial Ghana to Asante Mali na with RCC neighbor minister so regional minister in check here and the man Asante Mali this year now yet you wrote to propose was as so. Nana, Namquada. In fact, before some about MPP for issues. So, a person who any man will be a Dr. Frank Amakuni. It did work to a sentiment and one saying, check on my a boy in is on a boy in America Cranny on the NDC and believe in some behavior and citizen journalism. A yard brand TV could jar or fame bridge in the Sokai and Ra over social media. Dr. Frank Amakuni, the Bema, was in so much or how of Frey Rose and Highway Minister, Irajon Dramani Mama by. Omuna di mu komo hu se wo so mo ye de ma e ya santeman me no ka say they are almost done enti se wo hwe enema e koso a e kire se ye nya positive response kakran kakra and ade ba ko am person me to asanteman di mi na is ahunidi e so ehia pa e so won fa so na me no ka say Dr. Frank Amakuni dey ato Adwenkyere say nyame adoma 21st year Euromia which is Saturday ayebe ye ba be clean up exercise. District Bia Ebeye Dr. Frank Amakuni, which will be and it's already or the autonomous so you're not the boss antimine now only ACP, ACTA, I was antimental Mohamed say. It's yes, a santima, yes, Yamam Union are more shops or a dooming many in our say a Drua, when you income boom, young proper sentimental Mohamed say, Senator only ebeboa yenyi na so me dey ja committee
ano dey don kan bio say na dey anti obi aka na fisem dey
me dey on say dey committee
na me kan say and dey on kan bio we dey obi afisem say na waka o dey no
yeah but I say o mai na yenyi na ye chichi and I say unua dey say ezu ko to say unua abodu say share na wasanso asi o dey ho send them out there say until we in fact me who yem shimi kakra because I say a democracy in say if indeed say MPP for somebody on flag bearer and before and son to obey a year either regional and answer on polling stations executives now I think say any constitution and I say any democracy in boy kakra because one now be to aba the electoral college no to about the president no and I say flag bearer no someone to almost about me who na say minim how model or person mo faso na omode to omaba no Mr. almost say Ghana a democracy no mama yi nyina yembo ho ban yi because say anya ne sa emre bi bedru no e do how be brave e be brave nyina so
okay but that's it right the mra substantive issues no na e sha say etuato e Israel any Iran for ntem na said the strategic area e mo ben ya we are seeing na bi we see ho a hunsusu no e ka obia o mampani a se finance minister ahwe said that global shock no enya sunsuanso o man sikasanso bi anamonto no bi ene senam so ama 1 cedi per liter eto na buy dey ba no or suspended. Apart from that Ghana men sikasem so economic indicators na say first quarter economic growth 5.3 Fitch for upgrading Ghana a credit rating to B- from selective default. We saying here we are and no asset the former financial say untimi mu man fie 9 obra unya global crisis bia ebetimi aka no we so yade a MPP for kai pass no mo yade pa and a Russia Ukraine war no mebom and a nema sesaye de to mo bi betimi atomo ha na manya nyina adwiri ana hunu se monimu ara moko.
NDC asemu me makane baby me say can help you mabeka na hanim say ankasa NDC we are not against taxation abra ye campaign yewura John Dramani Mahama NDC akukudam obi ani hono makogina baby ka say NDC ye ba ye de eto de ye kire to ye mfa eto embeto Ghana for so but the mekan kakra yewura ato forcing na emre kakra ni before say e ba mu no no campaign ko ka asem bi say sesi imprempre no de ntia omoku MPP ni ye because emra MPP for the eto ba no emwa Ghana for because untimi mfa eto ma abra Ghana for ekwa ahunyanhia mu Sebekaya. That was a statement yewura ato forcing okaye. Enti eto ne de eno na edibu man. Ye ba ye na Ghana for say ahunyanhia MPP for de ko mu 2022. Ni nyina achi omusa kofa eto beto ye so no. Eno na de hayen. Unim say e-levy it was somewhere 29th of March 2022 and a parliament den ejitu mu na sa 29th March no wo hwe Russia-Ukraine war and also started 24th of February 2022 so here February March war na dika den aba wan ka so hu say war no ewo effect ewo economy no emu but MPP said there be on found say Russia-Ukraine war eba 24th February 2022 ena ohwe March or de e-levy esade baye enti eno na ade na ha Ghana for enti already no o man mu ayedin wo sa de to asa beto Ghana for so enti na Ghana for so mo mpesa na e ma no but yewura kofo do antie Ghana for ena o sa ka kire nse ono ade o ya wo ese mo se mo mpe but mo tighten mo belt eto ne de aba mon tighten mo belt ena aja NDC for ye campaign ena Ghana for ehun say oman no essay under MPP na Russia-Ukraine war na bae no wo hwe ya enema metimi akase na free either Ukraine eba pa na Ghana yeta import pa iron rods na wo hwe before Russia-Ukraine war on Tokano, I see 24th February no. We check it 23rd February the day before Russia-Ukraine war on Tokano. Now iron rods na NDC free to 2016. Now no boy 2,700 Ghana cedis no. Now call 5,600 Ghana cedis. On nominal increment no. Now just a cost roll ready. And a Russia-Ukraine war is a buy. And a better time no boy no cost roll. Now we say a two esade to Ghana for so send make an what say na just akwa double punishment and we dey punish Ghana for by this here buy yetima tete dollar so mu free ba mu obibini black man so unim obibini black man o se ono MPP ni wakoka no kre but MPP egu na djuma because of dollar ne sa na nti no send adjuma taxes ne dollar egu na djuma o kan sa asem na de chin ya na MPP for de GR for ko gu na djuma no sa de nti na o kan no kre no because o kan no kre na ye kwa abatu mo be ha yen e ma businessmen business akuku dam ano mo sentiment mu ha Ghana hanim sei o say minka so mo de kogu yo o mo de GR e ko tata no na djuma mu sa na meka o mo kogu ba adentina time na on kasa ni nyina de na wunim so de ka tax but I started so o kasa se mo de eto ene dollar na ekosuru ni gu na djuma ne de that sa time na was mo kono so na mo kasa ente magana ni pa bebre no muntimi nkasa headmasters ntimi nkasa mpenifu akuku da mo kasa pe yes we NDC ni me wan so no na adwuma na wo ye na Ghana nyina na eden eboa na NDC de ba mu ye ban na ese Ghana for mu musufre no yewura mahama ka so bo be dollar no bibi ampa yetima abo ma dollar na ida ba form petrol atama mu di e-levy ba na 23 Ghana cedis a liter no yewura mahama si da bi ene petrol no akọ drew 11 cedis 12 cedis a liter. Enti matete nema bebre so ama ende investors anya confidence ba oman ni mu. Enema so tete nkakra. Enti no se enema so tete nkakra na eka MPP for mabo edi ato energy sector eye debt mabo ato nkuwa wo de bagana skama 40 billion cedis. Na yantima anya se scan kotua we no abi na editor fan go de power nyina ye power plant aye de aba hanim sei. Ene iro mama send sa de a matimi atiso de amamo de a mutimi save more than 5 Ghana cedis de a then mama mu 1 cedi. Na 1 cedi na amenya no memfa entoto afi metimi nya over 5.6 billion 5.6 billion, right? 5.7 billion. Na me de thank you very much. Na me de akwakotua sa eka MPP4 mabo ato we. MPP4 muni ya omati kokum. Omusa nya the moral guard the temerity. Wabo ka to wona nipa obi aba na ono no odwene ko abefa so de etua wo ka no. Uza se won ti ase. Wosusu at emra na wo te so wo petrol na wo to nipa na bete so. Even say the one city ne ka wo kra na wo de no eso cha nipa ne de still MPP4 say omo nti ase. Ena Ghana for o kan guta ayi me say guta GPRT for cry say on be demonstration but mo kwatena table so ne NDC penifo didi hu komo no penifo no kiro mo say ni so mo say sanete de a ena demonstration no mo ye den o mo suspend demonstration no so wo hwa ene wo hwa eye entoko asi between Israel and Iraq ya Iran ya wo hwe be o mo position no mo location na o Middle East and a strategic location na omutimi di supply oil globally. It is entokwa na ekoso de a automatically no ebe affect the production and also the supply of oil. And now say affect the supply of oil no so de a o hwa price ne be den ebe kosro. And na Yera Mahama say Yera to economy say Yera jinapo munfa monindi echire yi ade na ayeko no mun steady the way I say koni se na ebe ya yemma Ghana fo nkwa ahunyan MPP fo ma Ghana fo ko mu 2022 abra Russia Ukraine won talk about musa kofa e-levy then the following month or musa kofa e-levy de beto Ghana fo so no enti munya abotre yen so 1 cedi e de ba beto petrol so yi yenye den ye hold on na ehwe de we aniema seko enye leader bia na betima adwene sa de we aye sa de we da unless unya leader or ye vision leader odwene ne man ho e no betimi ahuni say monfa niema tutu akwam se na be ya embe ha Ghana fo now you know what the entire Muhammad kasa asem we hwe before Russia Ukraine in talk no me de bia meka aban bia no no beba aba betena so 4 years onya shock bi be exogenous one aban bia obenya bi okay NDC time okay global financial crisis sane mani Arab Springs ne sane mani nyina so sisi ye time but we the way yes manage sane mana yes manage economy no ama do effect ne by kra na ambe bro 2022 amani hunu MPP for the Ghana for come to the stand say Yewra Kennedy akompre kwa Japan ekojina platform so ka say MPP for lose elections no 2022 it is wakase Yewra Mahama so tumufo say the ebe yemfa eni to form ne hwe ne ma ye say na be yemfa Ghana for nkwa hunyanyan mu a MPP for die ko mi bumu this a winner leader or dwene Ghana for nkwa no betima say ade no now you know one thing you know one thing COVID buy no you know MPP for mostly I na make say yenka say BBNC we betima see o hwe MPP every day COVID-19 say okay e baya ma me no ka say MPP ni e ko dware kwa no to COVID-19 nyom o fa yes MPP ni nante no to COVID-19 nyom MPP ni didi a COVID-19 nyom no oto e ma Ghana for yes COVID abetwa mu auditor general report e baye yenya 21 billion cedis mo spending less than 12 billion sikana e ka ye ne dia na mo de ye ya okay says sikana bi na omo Northern Regional Women's Organizer o says sikana bi na omo de echichema omo chairman for elections ne saa nema no say okay enti covid no it was just a corruption bonanza ema mo munya sika bebire free mu sika na munya ye nka mo di sika na yesa mo de bo man na ofa kameno ka sei MPP fo enkanye bibi omo de ye koduru ye no Russia Ukraine talk about MPP who can say Ukraine for crowd say Ghana for through their embassy say Ghana for we should stop using their name we should stop using their name Google Chrome mo ye ya man ko for Chrome say even Ukraine bobi a bomb no to ya kra bomb no to ye no when the inflation rate 2024 it was 9.1%. But MPP for time MPP for and under year 2024 na nka say MPP for it was 21%. Inflation rate no. And how can do me the menka say emba beba. But you who kwan be for so ayeden am managing ye. In any other case, unim say me de manu sikra no in any other case. Me be same people before say foto ben e na mode to wode ma ye say ebi atoro nchen bi te say we ya ebe yi. Etu ya ye betimi adane yensa bankum. Ne akwa koyi sika kakra free honom. Ne de aboa se ne be ya enema nya de magana fo. Ba o kai say Ramahama nyansa bo akonyame. Nyansa bo akwa nyame yakase nyame nyansa bo akwa kire so ohunu okina sem na oye ne nne ye Ramahama dadwini hu say betimi nya atoro nche bi te say bia COVID-19 beba enti stabilization fund of 3 million cedis edi 2 mu COVID-19 hit Ghana ehwa na MPP fo edi kan ko yo mu kope sika kakra ke Ramahama edi sai sika ni nyina na nka wanfa bibia nto ho no ma ka COVID ba enka Ghana eda hata. But here Ramahama nya this wadi hu no pay sika kakra to ho no eho bi ene ko yi sika start a COVID fight be MPP fo ntimi anye bibia sa amayen
right me da say say me da say my doc o say ma manage situation here na NDC de omu hu say to ato waiting the hard brain until this is a time to tax Ghanaians to not suspend the tax no so there bra na ha na gina mu na fe kra na mo de levy tax basika munyaye during the COVID pandemic ni na no mo amfa anye bi pe bia what do you have to say
of me that say ya me kan say akore nyini ya wan sra kwatia of us what say
penisi yenyini ya ensra
kwatia wunyini ya ensra kwatia ofa mini ayi kasa wan say ya organ ha ya tebra on the I think 6th of June omode under certificate of agency Eco Parliament of Ghana say omoko na omakoye nsakraye wo energy sector levy bill
yeah
yet say almost say e ka eda Ghana so no say omankoye sa ehihye no na ye nya sika ye energy sector ne be collapse because e kada ho ana ofa me wa 2 weeks ni sika no majijibi energy sector net say and only your 1 2 offer I have in my hand amendment na omoye ye neni so camera bit me a capture this is the whole bill omode call parliament so omokoye changes na me offer I want to say something here. Say be obi a o kan nyina o tie nyina bi hu atra e wo sansem say sika ye jeje na di kotua eye eka ofa memorandum na honorable minister for finance at the call parliament na paragraph 9 ofa with your permission I want to read
okay
or say and I read the levy will serve as a dedicated source of funding of ETU. The levy will serve as a dedicated source of funding to the energy sector, and the proceeds will be earmarked for the procurement of liquid fuel for power generation, given that the current electricity tariff paid by consumers does not include the cost of fuel used for power generation. Ofa we are midway in the mount. Na yen omonchire ye baby kura bill nankasa. Omushe mu so omu gisika no de akotua ka eda ho. This is the amendment. Reason paragraph 9 I say what three thesis. You give background, then when you are concluding, you give the aim of your work. Into paragraph 9 now more conclude no. And I make kan ye no. na omo check the reason is say ye gigi say sika no na ye dia koto fuel e dia power ye plant because see a Ghana for light bill like yetua no ye ni component bi e wo mu say ye gi dia kotua light bill. This is the amendment the coin now if I enko schedule my component na ye betua ofa me be say ye nyina ye fa nka eni o say schedule to act 1135 as amended. Or say the energy sector levies act 2025 act 1135 is amended in the schedule by the substitute for the second rule. And then second rule in over liter of petrol, the amount of the atmosphere 195 pesos. Over 195 pesos, I say.
195 pesos. There 1 cedi 95 cedis.
Thank you.
1 cedi 95
pesos. Na 1 cedi.
They say that it be the horror.
Enti
told me order that. And no more be a better.
Say na no.
That's 95 cedis.
95.
It's here kwa poku something like that. He was saying say 95 pesos. And only 1 cedi.
And only 1 cedi account. Now yen share ukobia 193 pesos on diesel. Ukosia 195 pesos on naphtha. 124 pesos on fuel oil. Then about 23 pesos on marine gas. Now if I had the last one I jump on into baby, I'm going to share. Last one and all kind of that's one kind in our 73 pesos per kilogram on liquefied petroleum gas.
Any different from 1 cedi no?
A beer component beer better omo only fuel.
Okay.
Omo only diesel. Liquefied petroleum gas 73 pesos. Ni nyina ka ho enu nti na omo kan se fuel levy, omo say energy sector levy. But on so omo ya omo kan we ni nyina. Now ofa enye nwanwa say all of a sudden emrantie ya almost started say Ghana eka ewo energy sector ho enti say yentua sa levy na ye energy sector no ebe collapse sesie ya yentua yi ni sesie ya omo hwe Iran ene Israel topa no nti no President Mahama so suspended energy sector no benya sika wo he na dia kotua sa aka no eno na kire wo say eka na ewo ho no mo no nye ka eno nti na ma light adundum no ho. They are simply inept when it comes to energy management because Okaya in 2015 President Mahama can say if you want to enjoy sustainable power you must be ready to pay more. And over meboa over o yedi nkomo
so okasa
Hussein esa akasa no o say omo ba mu no NPP for na fuel per liter 21 cedis. Offer.
You see 2022, 23 cedis. So
rise
yes. So I use a specific date.
At the time I free power na say.
About 14.
I'm not speaking about that.
Yeah.
See, I want to put it on record. At the time I free power, I handed over my one. It was 14 cedis, 85 pesos. Now global price per barrel $80. See, I'm no kase omo buy. Global price no e buy ya beduru $60. Enya omo na artist wo. Omo ni enhihye bia ni ho maye. Eye global price. Because unse energy sector we eye deregulation and over me wa. Ina ya teso globally. Na Iran tokwa de buy na day na wunim se ukọ day na Israel for the missile no call Iran. Sa very day no fuel price rise from $60 to $74. Adena NDC for bra etiba from global prices na etiba from no. Almost say woman na ye nhihye ama price na ba from Ghana. Sisi ya e kosoro no de. Almost say eye Iran ene eye Israel topa no nti ne betimi akosoro. Eno na kire wo say wan kasa woni nhihye ye bi a wo de atudwa because na wo nhihye de a ena wo betimi aka say emfa won ne ntokwa e koso wo ho no still now prices ni betimi aba form. We told them of our okay say you can Russia Ukraine war. President Mahama na emu kan say eye den ye ti Ghana na ntoko ekọ so Russia. Now say ama enioma bo ana affect yen. Na eye den ye ti Ghana na Israel any Iran ekun. Now say no dey be affect you. Said ye nsuo ye ntina medi nka sha say wunyini ya. Yes rakwetia. Now over.
But also omo manage ni ye. Say because of crisis they suspend the tax no. Now more time they in the midst of the crisis now more the tax Gana.
Over. Time you see also was suspended. I want to base this argument. Me argument we say. Also was suspended. Me be say me bizan say time no justify say ye ntria energy sector dey be collapse no. Say no ma suspended energy sector dey be collapse and I collapse. Of us what here? Enti ene na kire say e ya adwembone.
Sir.
Yes, because any say no promise Ghana for okay.
That's not okay document.
Over.
So here electricity build up na. You see a buy na ono a copy scan water fuel. Any their power thermal plants no. Nti say na okay. See tran ho say ya na fuel no san na nka ne duma. Wende.
Enti ade nti na wo begina bonten a wo nka se wo ni sika de to fuel na mo ya wo say abane na abokato na wo di kotua.
Okay.
But wo document mu ankasa no di ahye mu say wo ni sika wo di koto fuel. Enti sa levy we na wo de ba no you are earmarking it for the purchase of fuel. Yet ukwa bonten a na wako blame said we betna here wa kan say energy sector de kato. Meanwhile document na ankasa no all conclude no or say ye ni sika enti ye pesika dia koto fuel na dia power. Meanwhile wo ba bonten so na blame the opponent. So woman na aboka to or enye dishonesty of a okay draconian taxes. How they use that term? President Mahama or say NPP introduce draconian taxes. Many on one anka maintain that draconian taxes. And o mention here COVID levy our port. Meboa. And o mention emission levy. And o mention e levy. And o mention betting tax. Emission levy. Nansia deputy finance minister ko gina parliament e bisa and say sena abani nya free emission levy mo see they never implemented it. It's on record. Yet omodi message say the emission levy abeto ho e ba ye so omo nkire ye process aba omo say ye implemented that oba ba ki say say o kan say draconian taxes ba ko the airport COVID levy you free ho or say IMF
okay
conditionality at the time are all tagging no as draconian tax no na onim say IMF conditionality
okay but that's it. Doctor, Champon, what's in Ninkano? Was in your question.
Meet much said doc, Nanka doc, the document in a crank, come the
document, no.
Yes.
Had you now, Professor Hugh?
The document, one from yes, doc say the document we need Kitan and Ninano. Baby, anyone in DC, you can't see a discard Akutia, a car, MPP4, a bottle. But baby a chair see a discard akwa to fuel nkwa me bo anya no kai okita document na na se me de mani de check akra over ayi o hwe eye is it page 3 of document na okita na ti baby na okeka we say no eye 195 yes you know or say for the payment of energy sector shortfalls. What's the meaning of shortfalls?
Say a caveat akem
so I can every neighbor. And listen, and energy sector legacy debt. Enyeka, and I'm about to honor. It is all because yes, it is all because they be any document we more NDC actually say, yeah, aba beji 11 cedi way, e dey tu amoka. Not just say e bia one dino kra mighty for. Because what document ni chere sam pass ye gigi e dey mighty for page 3. It's info na uko ada na ukan baby that last paragraph no. One kind we say na nkan. So what they say enti mesrew sa ayini me enye wa hanum say ye mighty for no nya den. Enti na omo akasa njeju hu ni say asema ye ka no. no kre ene ye ka no o se yewura John Mahama na manu hu brofu be fe ne draconian
tax brofo no okay
nye de o se yewura Mahama na manu te sa draconian taxes no kra no ono no won te da enye sa no ka ampanso ndi se ba draconian tax na ne ka wasem no I levy yin free ho
yeah free ho
emu agana fo
aboga
and me no ka say last 2 weeks man betra nim say man yi car me ko yi Ford F150 Abraham yi bi 2023 yi bi this month man yi anjero I so ante 40,000 difference it is now ka porter say man pa yura Mahama no dika o ka eno so ampa me car ko yi last year this year yi no manyam for so 40,000 wo so enti eni bi ni taxes na na ye kana mo de abegusu no and minim say covid na no kan wasem no yewura Mahama asset up committee me bo wanka also mu hwehwemu by the end of say be kan ye mid-year budget na yidie na ye be hu kwa be fa so di eno so ayeden afa so enti mesrew anidie mu mumma ye ma nokre no enna honom se de be atifo no be wusa asema ye ka ni nyina no ye nokre na ye den ye ka
right
ka modi ato honom ye ntua sa ka na sisie ya e ka ne da homa yemba you default you get the thing momo ba ye no e ka mo burugu wonum nyina ma mo be default ma na muti Eurobond okay mo broker mo brobosia krache aban bia a okọ Eurobond market ko bobosia Yewura is the first government okọ Eurobond market okobo $750 million Mills Mahama nem do 3 billion kra ba mo nko mo be farmer abro 13 billion Eurobond market to the extent say lock mu say entimu ma mo nko nkope sika wo ho ni etima ba be restructure e ma gidie abamu a oh oti hanum say ka say yen kire de ya enu no mom na e masa na na de ekoso etimi srew we are really working hard and the document na okan any document na nkasa so chese ampa ye giska ne de akwa kutua energy legacy debt legacy debt no so legacy ne mu legacy amuja ye ene editua
doc
of our say o ma better structure debt pay since
we see Eurobond
okay debt restructuring na be ne chance
last year
Aban ben a pension or debt restructuring, both local and international. Ofa, Obuami. Aban ben a year is on record. Aban ben.
Debt restructuring, some of them year.
Thank you. Until almost year debt restructuring that bay. A young debt
almost by my bill.
Ye debt restructuring a year. A home for so because almost first quarter. Nina budget almost the year, you money in a yen. Your budget ye dijao and our family boy. Now all can about document now me can and you me document do me say this is the amendment. I'm the call parliament. And I make catch us as a would read the document you were the introduction part now ube conclude that is where the aim is.
Okay.
The concluding part I say will be a brew abstract now kind. We are over share the method so we are no share any aim where we yan kind document in so will be foul abstract document or share the purpose. What is the purpose? Purpose nin and yamina me de by your finance minister. And I'm a mile paragraph 9, upper cross I kind paragraph 10 as half account search it. So I want to tell you, sir, look, sa energy sector levy na aban. Mo kasa energy sector ho move free ho na kasa na modijai. Mo be fan 2008. Move free ho na energy sector levy na ese data na ho na ese.
Una can see.
There be, you see, you are alleging say obi ejaka ho, but you are not making the conversation rich because you are not telling us how much you also left. Of Anamibwa, who begin 2009, a Cassan Albertoye. At the time I will free so 2016, saying I would die. Then no Sabeka say, Mimi free or 2016, ne can you say? Omubaya Mesaba 2025, a Cassan am the Betoye. Then one holistic picture. Oh, from 2013 to 2016. President Mahama persona Honorable Dr. Donko, Pabna Donko. The then energy minister share boss say ye try new levy President Mahama kasi betimi enya energy sustainable energy ya ye ntria more. Pabna Donko share bokra say se wentimi and dum so a obedi na dwuma beto o de na dwuma so to ho dum so wentimi and ba wo yetua mo yet ofa enye onwanwa say eye 8 years of NPP yamfa sa 1 cedi ya megigi 1 cedi say di koto fuel said the Omakani in paragraph 9 and paragraph 10 of their own memorandum no yet not light is so but omubayi okay Minister of Energy offer the first day on the 7th of January ebra ye dey President Mahama esi so no na John Ginapo be kan say ye wo 5 hours say ye energy sector ni nyina ya ho de nyina ka 5 hours of a free 7 January basis abre how many hours we ye no last 2 weeks omode we ni beba na nkasa and osa be ka say you 2.5 days say you no ananka minim say you 2.5 days or ewiase
o said that calculating e wetin calculating hours
there be one ka hours was say of 2.5 days and yes I energy sector ni nyina be collapse omo pass a bill we almost everybody in NDC was telling Ghanaians say energy sector so be entua 1 cedi na energy sector be collapse wo hia light dia afa ye adwum e dia ye adwuma de o se utua afa de Ukraine Iran and Israel e kan omo kakra bia wo hu sa afa de external shocks e betimi say unim say obi bia ye kama dia say ne still go ahead
okay right
because energy sector still na ka o hoye Mexico and over me boa
that's it right Dr. Enoch Champon so what can we for Adwenkyere dwumadie e na hwe e wo Kessben television so no mam here message no kakra ya ba na ye move on ye hwe Fitch International Credit Rating or more upgrading Ghana status from selective default to B minus and this is so my idea MPP actually say omumodembo uti Dr. Gideon Boakwa what say successful debt restructuring last year no and now must say you upgraded Ghana credit rating who can take credit for that now okay good evening of I'm Sita Modest from Brekum Golden City now Ghanaians don't value MPP anymore now NDC and Dramani Mahama is doing marvelously well. Iran and Israel war will affect us, but I know JDM will see us through. Aban Papa, but God bless JDM. Okay. Okay, we will say good evening, Ofa. The inconsistency of President Mahama is immeasurable. Now he will charge buffer stock to purchase all rice produce in the North and Savannah region, supply secondary schools. So the members will not be allowed to buy food again in open market. We're not talking about that anyway. Baroski from Esisriwa, NPP Media Petros. It's a duty to Foreign Affairs Minister Kujita Blaka to do the needful to protect Ghanaians, those in Iran and Israel. But mind him, what will affect Iran and Israel cannot affect Ghana. Okay. Ofa, evening. Anabi Kumasi ayesum tum. Mama boapa na oye. Ade atantema sa. So say Santima no cho say atantema no. Good evening, Ofa. I'm a person of Okain from Sine West District, precisely Bantama. The West, please, I'm not taking calls. The West spoken when NDC is in opposition now, hitting them, they will explain tire. As the doctor said, we are all waiting for the full communique from the secretary because I myself don't understand why we should elect a presidential candidate before any election. Hello, good evening. I'm watching you from Senegal. My name is John Ato Hassan, and my regard to your panel. If I tell man that whether they like it or not, they will stay in opposition for long if they don't change their attitude. NPP, never again. Hi, host, please let the NDC man tell us only one policy that has been put in place to achieve gain. Also, they should not attempt to bring that unnecessary day levy to Ghanaians. Ahmed from Kintampo. Kwejo Bwede from Kumo Bodma say, oh, MPP party, are you still alive? Are you still alive? I think your party is no more. Honorable Afijima King, you did Mr. More Noise. Okay, good evening, Wofa. I'm speaking from Techimai. It's surprising how much confidence the NDC has. Just listen to how this man is speaking now. Very bold. But remember, when you throw a ball against a wall, it bounces back at you. The same principle applies here. Let the NDC man calm down. In trying to defend lies, he might just expose himself even more. Sometimes silence is better than defending the indefensible. Adequate from Techimai. Good evening, Wofa. I'm Samuel Asensu, watching you live from Libreville, Gabon. What is the NDC telling us? Is he telling Ghanaians that in their tenure, there wasn't any energy debt? Why is it that they always tell us lies? He must excuse us. Ghanaians shouldn't think of the economic aspect that will affect the country, but you always think of the health implications. The thousands of the bombs that were exploded during the Second World War affected the tropics, including Ghana. The explosives that are being used by Israelis and Tehran, the winds will blow and carry it to the tropics. So we shouldn't allow that to overwhelm the nation. Master Planner Junior from Kintampo. In 2009, the NDC inherited a 940 million energy sector debt, which is less than 1 billion. Irritatingly, they left office leaving Ghana with $2.5 billion with high doomsday economy. Regardless of the debt MPP left at the energy sector, our lives was on for almost 8 years. NDC cannot solve this doomsday. Mahama and doomsday are one. Good evening, Kessben TV. I'm Edwin from Accra. All that I want to say is God bless NDC. Hi, I am Asasia Bain speaking from Kumasi Fabi. MPP is coming no more, maybe 40 years later. Famous from Mansour Grisum, greetings you and your guests. What I notice in this country is to clear both NDC MPP and get one party state. Wow. Good evening, from Honorable One from Sawaba. If Russia-Ukraine war cannot affect us, why is Israel-Iran war affecting us? We have really voted for the wrong person. And also, dear, and so, I don't know. Nkoko Johnson, he says, NDC are deceptive. Okay. This one, he says, dear host, good evening. My greeting goes to your two panel members. Ministerial appointment is a death trap. Hey. So okay. Anyway, good evening. I'm Seven from Sevi. Please ask the president how the Iran war will affect Ghana. Good evening. I am Richard Amponsa, aka the intelligent enemy. Greetings to my good brother Dr. Champon. He's doing marvelously well as he's teaching the NDC guy. Richard Amponsa, the intelligent enemy. Intelligent enemy. I'm asking you, please, is MPP willing to come to power again? Never. Master swapping from New Edubiase and also anyway free Ebaye. NDC cannot be better than MPP. You Ghanaian journalists are all hypocrites. I'm Seth Appiah from Etimetim Edubinso. Seth, you have your spectacles. Oh, you can look at it, and that's why we are doing democracy. Good evening. Hi, Mr. Host. Even Mahama cannot tell truth on the ground. Richard from UCC. Right. Mami friends here, you can also keep your messages coming at appropriate time. As I heard, now, Ghana's credit rating has been upgraded. Now, from a selective default to B-. Ghana be ya kokodru kesipa ya ko B+. It didn't try B+. To do B-, not just say you do a last but one highest. You could do B+, na bibia be boom. Because I say 4 times you could B+ back home. And I'm say Mahama first come you could B+ back home. And yes, I to buy it. You say yes, I could do B, you do B-. ebetimi akọ B+ entra ho da na utie fetchefo a omo kire say it because of a successful debt restructuring and na masisi omo hu say Ghana economy no afidie ejana so. According to Dr. Gideon Buako, Yano technical advisor Dr. Baumia, NPP Abreso no, say NPP ena a year sa debt restructuring last year and almost so be na mende yenya sa upgrade from selective default to B-. NDC abaying so finance minister and then the information minister, they are all saying say which say abaying no, he has put the economy on a sound footing and nearby year. Last, and I said this week, last week, say a growth rate echo 5.3%, and also Abai Beka said, and Yemi Koye, and also Mohammed Amin, and a doctor, former finance minister Beka said, first quarter no, now NDC year, they say growth rate of 5.3, a good foundation, and this MPP toye last year no, and also so ebino. You say a cosro, so could B-. Let's just say we are some in a nijiti umu, Safido Sika 7 or a koye. Do we credit NPP for what they did in the last year of the administration? And at the NPP, NDC buy or moye and I swabe. What's it?
Over medasi. Over minutes or the mommy. Can we minutes now?
Mommy channel 10:10. Time
10:10. Okay, that's fine. 10:10. Yeah, everybody me. And yeah, over. Dr. Bizam is a. Was that the internet man can NDC a car ye jade to honum.
Energy sector.
Yes. Minim say be another doc nim there a 9.6 billion Ghana cedis in a jade to ho. Omamuja 40 billion Ghana cedis. So person who the entire me calculate is 9.4 billion rather 9.4 billion now. That time na exchange rate near saying. Na 3 cedi 80 pesos, we enfa 4 cedi 20 pesos in the crampo. Ni enfa $2.1 billion no. Ye enfa calculate hwe. Nti e benya 9.4 billion Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Ba mo buy no. Mawuri amanakwa ko do 40 billion cedis. And now we need 9.6 billion Ghana cedis in Ukraine. They say the towards her to Islam amusen kamu fentu etua. Ofa me ma me papa otie me say na tie. Say me papa si fie wi. O si ni fie wi ye no na ma yenya nsuo na adware. And na me papa akọ bobosia. E de ababe install nsuo e wo fie honom. Obo bobosia no be install nsuo no wi ye no. And ye neighbors omo wo ye fie nchen honom no. On be say so no bi omutua 1 cedi 2 cedi 1 cedi 2 cedi e na me papa akotwa fotuo bi e o bank say sika na ye gigigigi no efri omon be bu nso ofie honom ye gigi a na ye de akọ bank honom e na me papa aka kire wo say sika we the only thing that this can be is the tuatua e kan na ye ko gi ye na ye de be ye ensu no mo ko gi sika na wo ba ya wo ti say sika na ye gigigi se de be tua ensu no da bi. What is this kind of kusia or Eddie PLC account? I just cannot D 15 good years. And Tisikana na was a deco to ya Sa bank near Eddie Bessin soon. Scanum combu or Cobrania discana dinner, and then I can one my yakana cosrono. To say, would my 9.4 no. You travel to Esla to Amuka say news and starts more cram between Mobile Modicusia or near say about the 5 years, but near Trim, Bamba Modico 15 years, Ecosia what the PLC is also just canny dean in ne and meant to ya and Nama a canning in an air day, you cool mono. Offer Mammy cannot create. Nagana phone in a wound is a buy we buy no. And frama airborne in and frama. Ebo ye because yenya finance minister I would tie Ghana for how all priest obey your name of Ghana for of I would tell me dear good it is a finance minister would tie Ghana for how doing Ghana economy who dia the ebe who be na hu yo senkamu na moyere mu na moye sa niema na adenti na mobeka se mo finance minister on chatau se bi producer enti yeru akofo adon yi ni free mu MPP fo ameka za asem no because mo say wo moa oman no wo ma Ghana economy ni nyina ha da say enti mo say economy ni enya leader bi a waba na ordinary egu for ma even restructuring na mo ka ho asem no it wasn't successful under you they make out here because one mo say mo restructuring na mo ye no gidie confidence ankasa kra na okay so mo ko China no mo ko sresre lala sulala si esrem eka e de Chinese for 1.9 billion dollars mo fanche yen omko ha multinational debt so kan ni na mo pacho se fanche ba ni gidi omumu because omu ni se mo gisika na mo yeden mu di ni mo nu nyafu mo fanya hwe na nde yewura at economics aba wako bien krata mu de to wa share mefo ahia this big financial institutions e de to mo nim se me ba de metu yenie de me pese me yenie ti mesra mo mo na me nyewe me yese ye beboa me mamu timamufo na ma aha omo ama ma gia tum se yewura at economics ye boa wa ampa yenim se obetimi aye anya gidi o yewura at economics mu aboa ma restructuring na is successful amande yenya positive economic outlook musa ba say de na momo yeye boy de mo yeye boy say mo na ma na mo pachew say emfa mo kanchem o ya fa anchem to the extent say you lucky mo even Eurobond market Fitch S&P Moody's Standard & Poor's Moody's okay say omo rate mo economy no RD restricted default junk status ball economy because na bibia no ekoso yie na this year buy no what me lead amomo hu say you at economics ampa tikese a eda so daipa eda sumi so daipa e fa Ghana economy ho enti ebeboa mo atimi aye e na ampa waba watimi akwa lead amana successful enti the can nyina success no e na hia it's not about who now start here senne yesi ya bobo ni e de wa start ball wa bo 80 minutes one time she go obo bia over the bar na obi aba begina ball no mu last 10 minutes aka watima she 5 goals obegina aka che say wo na start ye ntino ye mfa ni de ma wo say wo na start abobo na ama goal na ba no obi obetisa so because that be it doesn't hold waters.
But who actually did the debt restructuring?
And I make actually say the key word here is the success no. You can start but what start here want me wie because omuni confidence wo mu I feel MPP for time ni nya say investors ananka wo so mba Ghana anim say nyina dwane ko Unilever big pen mu nyina mu dwane ko ye etina confidence ni won confidence ni nyina da ba in any other case so oka say debt restructuring na why na say ni say $100 above form because of the pragmatic measures that you at economics fiscal policy monetary policy investors confidence and niema yewura Sami Jeffins gold board e dey abeka ho e na aboma $1 e dey above form and then me no ka say inflation okay MPP before inflation no 15.4% omufu abam na mbru 20 and then this year ba yetima abeboa ma inflation na ba 18% ama Fitch ni Moody's abeka say Fitch for abeka say yewura at economics dey wo ye dey and here 15 na mumu de ko ye no mumuja no no awe amusa ba beka akoto ho awo but so kan so NDC ye bo apro no ye ka kire Ghana for say be try say ye inflation ne be ba aba be du be bia ye free abamu ye jan ho even MPP for try ye okay omo kan e omo 2023 budget statement in economic policy omo project is ombenya 15%. I mean the inflation but omunya 15% no but NDC ye kai na so tete ba ma Fitch for crab dey dance say enema you at economics di go akwa betima abo ma yenya 15% no.
No, but you are saying you are projecting 12. Must say by the end of the year
no omo yes 15 na 15 no by the end of the year no
I got 12
which me ye guso ye di adwuma mentimi ntina kasa fidie so nka say NDC for the bibia no yaye ye guso ye nkakra Ghana for na nka so ye be yama Ghana for hu sampa ye de nima guakwa mu ayede ye and the titi nima bebre so minim say what to say even flight passion for at so by 10%. What they say and no because of restructuring now ko ye na say they make out say and them no can say and nima bebre so titi no it has nothing to do with restructuring, it has to do with prudent measures. So restructuring be bomu ama globally yenya this sovereign rating agencies normal issue restructuring no and they are rating ye na it has to do with the successful nature of the restructuring led by yewura at economics mo ba kika nsem bebele kire nsem mo na mo economic risk kid betima boa Ghana attending the fortune of economic malice mo na mo kan economic mess ayewura mama de ko mu ba mo free on mo ja economic quagma economy a all limpe economy asɛe na nde yaba na nyame ya adom eneme ekoyi a mo se ba be ka se mo e ka anye bia ade na mo ntimi anye sa mo tra so 8 years mo ntimi anya me anka se MPP for mo na mo ayere mo aye sa ne ma wi
okay
mo free so na se yaba na ye de neme egu akwa mu aye boa mo be ka se mo na mo boa ma eye restructuring sa ne ma restructuring no kra mo kan MPP for kra kan omu jai kan because mo kan pensioner for kra se tie mu haircut amudi man kofo okrum hanim se satam so na yi levis aba you know so okay papa bi a ono no oda BP aduro so sika no de be kwakoto ne fe card onya bi papa no wu ya oti soko ban he ya a me ne ba ne ko school mo yesa ne me we nyina ne ba ne tie na sa be ka se wo wati ma boa ya restructuring yi a ne ba ne be ka kire o se ade na wo ye ne papa na e woni trimu ntempi before the boni amudi adi Ghana de se bi de bia meka boni empi before economy omudi adi Ghana no bronsam kra boni a odi adi emaye empi adi boni che bronsam e ba na Ghana economy a
say that's doctor some kra ma
na
ade nyam na mo ye restructuring no wieye you can't take credit for the upgrade of Ghana's credit rating.
You see ubisa na semba ko so bisa na say restructure hand shase all kind ya na o shase o say fetch for the reason is that successful what
debt restructuring
and ubisa say hand restructuring say Ghana has this year mean society Ghana has debt restructuring as a policy and this NPP why now all the beman ubisa no so that some can feel say it's not about restructuring, it's about successful policy.
I didn't mention policy.
O kasana me wa how.
Yanko.
Okay. O say bisa no say policies be na senya restructuring dey any policies be ya. Otimi bo policy ba ko credit. Wentimi amo policy ba ko credit. No are starting one ma commentary san or the we offer. You see this honesty ya na say the idea ya na hard when say what beto aban continue obi ahye dwumadi ase nyina yinim Ghana ha said the money debt restructuring a year campaign TNPP pensioners the year okay I said debt restructuring you local and international ntini mienu omo buy my local debt restructuring over my local debt restructuring
local debt they see aye we dada
omo buy how many we ahefa market be no my sad yen debtors na ahefa no my omo restructuring omo no buy within the last 6 months no so we say about debt restructuring yet fetch for say debt restructuring until me per se enka o kasa no say ye buy ye no this month January February March ye share debt restructuring ase we any any e de to dwa na outcome no ye say na ka fe ye hunu beto oba yi wa kan ne saara ne commentaries a wentimi amo policy baako a o mo ba yi o ma ye ana wo kan bi ena man tia of aboa me so can be within the last 6 months so mo ba yi policy we apart from yen debt restructuring na ye sha ase omo ba ya na ye wo sika da ho no mo for unse na ye ma pensioners no period so a ye mo coupon no mo dia kotua omo beto coupon na na o say amache omo tua afi de omo say ye na ye betua meanwhile the record shows na period bia so a until we exited na ye tua since I started here and now for me boa yet obetena hey wakasa sa ontimi ma specific policy bia say locally policy when ye the year about our debt management internationally policy when ye about our debt management
that's a credibility na
ye ka credibility free na eba
enyumuni
ye free na eba enti wo ba ye na na so anya credibility because na obi ni nkofo bi akohyehe say ye ka ye de no mo mfa nche yen mo ana ye de muka ana ye bond your best target payment no na buy ho ahenha no enya no mo beto ye ana meboa your first quarter budget aye di ja wo mo sa inflation of our inflation rate na ye ka ho asem no quarter be asem
inflation is said monthly.
They bomb me quarterly.
Inflation is monthly.
But
a growth rate will be a worker.
So growth rate na
first quarter, yeah.
First quarter. Me ba cho first quarter January to
March.
Budget ben and omo de year adwuma nya achieve sa growth rate. Budget
no first budget no.
Why na year sa budget no?
Yeah, November.
Why abai be a enti wono dwumadie be no obedi ye. Budget na oba e de be year adwuma from January to March no. Why na ye de to ho ma o?
MPP.
Sa hyehyeye no why na de ma o? Afei ena wo dia wo start in April, May, June quarterly growth ni ye be he. Eno ne wo budget. Ni wo beto ye no ye de di jaw. This one you can't contest it. You can do all the propaganda with it. But the truth remains. Say ye budget the to ho. And now babe fire for the first quarter. And now we implement ye. Wonye bibia. You see, when you don't give credit, na edru baby na nyomemu ye dina. Isn't it interesting? So far, when it comes to energy sector, or see a jaka ho, ya nyeshe. But a true growth, budget, ye de budget to homa omodia, he doesn't want to credit us. Isn't it ironic? Isn't it ironic? So Obeto energy sector ya mismanaging granted. Nti ano de yem function PP. But growth Obeto ya ye budget ato a use for 3 months no. Na ye kan ye growth rate for the first quarter. Ano de wo se there bi. NPP new role bia play. Ba wo ena ye bisa wo se enhyehyɛ be na wo de atodwa. Bobi ma yentie. Makasa ye budget. Ye debt restructuring. Enti won so edien na waye. Enu nti e wo se ye credit wo se we ni. Wo ene ye de ma. Senka wo ba ye ena wo kasa se de me ma bo budget. Abo ye debt restructuring both local and international de no. Ena ka won so wo listing ye wa ya. Then the conversation, are you rich? But you just went on that expedition, say, oh, you buy no man call 4 names. Yet, when to me more just one single policy, economic policy, I will implement it. I will bet me don't say you work as and none of this our results we have. Over where on say or can't be see say a tea and your muscle. Say mini away emre bi me hwe ni program ho ka cement ho asem ma callers ni messages e baaye no eya conform over conform na ko bisa se enioma ben no se ya tete so eye enioma ben eni atete so e wo Ghana ha na afi ye hu na conversation no ayede minua mesrew and you may be a honomoa. Oh, Kasana, you see, NDC for young guys, minim gintia, they are so fixated about some of these things. Bansi Teleco, a year, why you knew a bro be a my. What bad bet to say? So ye a comfort no chekura we timi adua bro bosumi mienu ama bro na be adwan am we twa de akoche. You see, give credit where it is due. You say wo na wa ben. What I say, enti se wo ka say me baaye no we ni enu nti na fish for air can wo man fa credit na ama ban wo say debt restructuring. into debt restructuring, then we will trace it who initiated it, who implemented it, and who is benefiting from it. When I will benefit from the policy, Momo the campaign tia ebo ye tree so wahanoma say pension for sika ene yaje ena yentua ena yen say ene ye ho fa so abetena say momo the policy be na mode aba entiminu mesrew nkofo tie yen enipa bebrom wonim die chen yen e yakwanya na ya betena ha enti se onya akwanya na wo kasa e man nye wadwene se obi a wo hwe obi anim nyansa Ghana ha yen nyina obi anim yemiensa yete hei obi anim say you can't debt restructuring na NPP and starting both local and international inti mesre no say opesi enrich conversation na oma me specific policies ni bi a omo ba omo di ato akwam na yenhwe the end product a free sa policies ni mu aba then na ya make headway over
right when I say doctor. But the year came governance is continuity.
Thank you.
Can we ever say Bibi Adiabako Hagana Parano? NPP always take credit for everything, and then NDC also take credit for everything. There's a project across near ya, the NDC you know, NPP eba na okotwaso no wiepe. NDC beka se masa monka se project we na moye ya dia ni aye ye do say kra na mba ba complete ye so government bia ba no so we adia obetima ye wi a ebe me ka se wono mum ene ye sa de me ba so my time no nti yes Hussein the quick one within 5 minutes ebre no enti sere ye kwi we esase wa ya kudu baby o say I am negotiation there on ba no we trust no maka o say ye ko meti yenka It's debia no omokwa they come back and tell you say oh dear I go so couple say on bank no bank for ba behwe wa fill a form ya behwe wajapade ne ma woton you know so we better enka can't we have a system whereby a bit maka say oh say dear ye buy do we normally do that say abai bi ba ka say obi a we ye ade e na ma beto so ente who be NDCMP politicking, they be no be taking credit for everything.
Okay. Number one, me da CBO. Me kwenya outside there mama. I think say me no work say na when bisam say policy ben e dey buy obisam say question no.
Yeah.
When bisam but no ka say obisam say policy ben e dey buy my timi anka. Enti bia one thing ye one bisam policy bi asem. And number two, I didn't run away from restructuring no. I was using a key word there. Me say successful. What do I say? GDA omunya e wo Ghana ye rato force mu e na boama e ko yie. Sana na me ye de me kan ye. Budget there na no so omo drama na budget there.
Yes, budget for me in November.
November. Good.
It also prayed for 3 months.
Okay.
January to March.
Okay. Budget is just projection. Uti. But the key word here and a prudent implementation. Musimu ye dem aye. Why ya to ye ba ye no. Ye implementing prudently. Ye implementing ye. So what I say? Wo budget a wo ye nyina no. Wo start say wo budget de bia wo to no din. Ba ye wo betu din akwa ko wie no at the end of the year no. Na budget na sa koya so die sa da Ghana for so. Ba wo ye budget ma ye rato force no ba be fa ya wo implementing ye no. Ene de abapa e de abrayen enti Mr. budget na sem no so no men kasa asem no budget is just a projection menya sei kwame so no be so nya sei e wo se wo de niema panhye ye padigu akwamu asa no nya sa niema no wo hye pa odigu akwamu ene ye odi DP akoya sa de wo ha beto Ghana fo isu ana ye ba ye course ye ne omukwa akokasa omonya gide wo ye mu in that case me ma simple example wo so ni mbobo ye do akọ park so ko bobo wa bobe 85 minutes want me anhye go na me mabam me buy in 5 minutes metima she 3 goals a o pesa me kasa wo mum na o start ball no bontu no amago na ba na da bi me buy in skills na me wo no what you say eno na aboa me ama metima ye fen adroit eno aboa me skills no ena mabe display at ma she 4 goals no etiero to force skills no wo no and I would do a budget no to on implementation no or any prudent. ama nne ede abapa abrega na for intimisro sa asem no so no menka ne bio. You know what? MPP and DC, we are not the same. Project ana waka wan say me de bia mete anim say me ka project bi to say Afel Military Hospital me ma the genesis of Afel Military Hospital me the massive rakofo enenya adwen poso wo si say the credit amount na me boa good okay NY highways okay buidam okay ye dey ya invite MPP for mama ba ho okay pa dey say okay
the kai pa
okay
for the chassis
good ye rakofo ado ekofa eye planti edeba Kumasi okay Ameri edeba Kumasi all kaso boyo Muhammadin oboyo Muhammadin so difference ni dey wo ho NDC ye mark acknowledgement ye kai say oh una piesita ewo ho etime sremo sa NDC for project ba NDC for fa credit my MPP no me dey bia meka so for line ye rakofo na starting so for line o kate sword and che eno free abamu NDC e ba e be ye nti dey bia ye dey bia ye ka ne sampa
me ba therefore mo fa nche se ehwa na TV no na ateko ekakra enkane no na ebonani ti moving from the grade to generator no ho ahu se na abonani na ateko na asan so aba enye bo apaye Hussein festival me
yes enti me ma atiefo na hwefo ene ofa enti ase aba se MPP ne ndisi enye pe NDC se MPP a start bibi na se ade na bebo Ghana na edu na se to aso na ewia ye bia no kra na ye frame MPP fo ye frame Irakofo kan mills even Ira John Mahama so invite no N1 highways okay buidam Irakofo ni nyina ya ade a e kire sampa nipa no bo na baso ba mo ba ye Ameridi ba Kumasi Irakofo do kaso amba obi adin enima bebre ho Ira John Mahama ye ya mo ba ye hospital mo be bie no Kumawu kwan so Irakofo do kaso wanti mo Ira Mahama kra din
okay
enti mo na mo sa ade no mo wo ba ye de adwene sa ade no be boa Ghana nkwa ade a ba ye to so wie so na ebia no a ye kai se MPP ye den e na start bibi
right that's it doc
I'm say Hussein you see attitude we nti na ma oman no yen koso no because you see say obi ye bibi na oba na opese o share the nipa no contribution any rare nipa na player I don't think sometimes a baby bar na yenya turnover in terms of government projects. Because you see, Nancy, I say we could be a police hospital. Minister for Interior could be a police hospital. So what did they about? There was no, the impression is that about 6 months here you see hospital every year. So Nancy, Minister of Health could be a hospitals be or Western region. Ahim for now catch and say more by now or better and only see and on other commission. And there was no mention, you see, and will be now all demonstrative were her enumerate. Or say prudent management. Say Uba and one to police here. And our buying will be fair be been to her and our co-manage. Yet Upa say would downplay ni pana over two no effort in your mouth, she say na. Just to your advantage for political score to score political point and I'm a wow. Sasubano dear say enjay not the bia be ni say ya or my name con any muda. Because this issue about Fitch rating a year can the main issue is about debt restructuring, nothing else. They never mentioned anything say a policy bia and I say she before you be diaba. And a prudent management of anything. The bottom line is debt restructuring. And I'm putting on record, say, between the three of us in this studio, you can't debt restructuring. I buy Ben a chas, ye, local and international. Uba ye, dear, no, why ye? I open so just our credit. Again, the Bekum, they say on our ben, into the end, the Bekum say, Ubeka say, and Yano man pa, Munina Munim, some buy. 9PP has started debt restructuring, local, international. Na you buy na fe na ende. Ehunu sunso anso ni ni. Enu no bewu ana. But ferry enti because you started sad debt restructuring.
What's a born na mo ntimi shegu. Na o buy
no. You to go back to me person dey give
na we need credibility.
You say no bewu a wo kan me fam mama submission mu. There be when you bewu a wo kan me mano me give you no attention. The point is that enke was we so humble enough now acknowledge, but because of the politics a bright debt restructuring the politics na ye catch Ghana for say nuanom san hye we e be boy daachi and this is for the year politics etia yen obetena say o sa hye da kan say papa bi no so to duro bi na wentimi amo papa krodi and also say one papa bi ba na go school. You see, how can we verify this? What the year politics and unti se siano unya sa kuduro no ferrienti untimi e acknowledge say ampa enka de year politics no na yenim ye ba abem just like President Mahama ebra o promises say oba obeyi eye COVID level our boss is here no be who say a conditionality into a year enye yesesiano or senka utimi patch won just like on say omo to electricity tariff mu no on say IMF conditionality no say the adjustment one can upward adjustment doesn't mean increment. You can do downward adjustment. But
do we normally do downward adjustment?
But it is there. We have downward. Don't we have downward adjustment?
Aye. By part of the world.
IMF conditionality. There is nowhere in the conditionality our state say it should be automatic and always upward. And to say your downward adjustment.
There's a dollar back for me.
You cannot come and sit here and say a IMF conditionality. It was said there be a console. But the conditionality says adjustment of your tariffs. It can be downward. So as I say, but you see, we are woman here politics say ya. Ebedru be na hochire beban. Then you want to go back. Me pese u put sa video yin nsema o keken there for the sake of future. Na so ochine bi enioma unforeseen circumstances, external shocks. Eba situation ni mu na o say nyina ye ba on board. I don't expect him to come and sit here and say I am people for now manage.
All right. Right, let us say for me message kakra na fe yemra me wrap up a quick one on Helofurata issues afi de bia OSP be jana man ho atono just 2 minutes bi na yemfa dwedie no. And so emra ewie breno etia pa message this door so me so mentima kan wo dia Fachemofa tell MPP man to stop lies to Ghanaians about Papa Bagana and send greetings to Dr. Frank Amakone Eku Afu Yamransa Beach Chairman. Sorry, and I did way and so a buyer. If I really like the proverb Doctor gave about the beginning of the submission, OPK from Akrokre. Dr. Buben say, exactly. It's alleged the dollar is now 36 and gold bond must not relent on bringing down the dollar. And now that they scrap the 1 Ghana cedi on a liter, how are they going to pay the ECG debt? According to Nana Akufo-Addo, there was a legacy debt of $2.5 billion inherited and left him when leaving office. Good evening, please ask the MPP communicator to always say the truth, nothing but the truth, because Ghanaians are tired of lies. Isaka from Techi Mine. God bless JDM and NDC. Charles Wilson from Senegal. NDC is doing marvelous work. More Vim JDM. Hi, I am Karen Weld. MPP, they are criminal party. They will come after 40 years. Teacher Eric Mensah, Watrese will be in his cap. But your mama and his NDC are afraid to say Israel and Iran war will have impact on a full increment because of how they lied against the MPP to Ghanaians for power. I don't blame NDC for what is going on, but the MPP who is fighting among themselves, how always can Baumia issue does not affect us again in 2028. God bless, God help MPP from Honorable 1 Abronye of Amstead, Mampong, and Sawaba. Mr. Host, NDC dear, Omoye 419, set from Akwetia. I am Daniel. My greetings to Dr. Inoke Champon, your little brother at Atun Supin Shop and Kessben Effort KNUSC. I want to find out from the NDC representative that how far with the LGBTQR+ bill. Good evening. My name is Sumaila from Fumbisi Busa. I feel ashamed when I heard MPP people still talk about hardship. Have you forgotten 2022 till 2024? Remember, you are not coming back till 2080. Believe that. Hi, Mr. Host. Good evening to you and your panel members, especially Dr. Inoke Champon. I'm Festus from Sewi Bodi, Western North. Again, Mr. Host, ask this man what are they going to do about NAPCO personnel, because you promised us to vote massively for you, and God being so good. NAPCO, and that's all far. MPP pa the Egu Adams from Obuasi. Good evening. Please, this rep, he doesn't know what he is talking about. Ask him for me. Who signed the take or pay contract the independent power producers? That was contract signed by Madam Mahama in 2016 led to a debt in the energy sector. We tell NDC members that we told that we don't want to hear Israel-Iran war. Please tell the NDC rep if he doesn't know dollar now, it's 13 cities at the black market because you can't get some to buy at the open markets. Good evening, Ofa. To me, it sounds like the NDC speaker is just preaching without making any clear or helpful points for the betterment of Ghanaians. His presentation today was a disappointment. He should pause, prepare well, return next week. Margaret Adwenkyere Kwating from Sehui, Wiase. Faustina from Brekum. This NDC guy talk like he knows everything done. Everyone in Ghana, let them wait and see. 2029, they think Ghanaians are fools. It's not true. This government is a listening government because of the conflict of Israel and Iran. That is why they rejected the second D and E levies. Mr. House, what is the MP man telling us? That they presented a budget for NDC, so NDC shouldn't claim any success. What happened in 2017 when they also claimed every success? Were they those who read that year's budget? Please ask him for me. He's listening. It says, try to read this message for me before you close. Why don't you invite MP for Mansour Dubia? MP for Mansour Dubia, why they? Okay. At the appropriate time, why? Because I was telling MP man that cooking oil, which was 1,000 Ghana cedis, now 550, and rice, which contains 5 kg, sold 250. If you like, you should come to Sunyai and buy some Adwenkyere from Sunyai. Hussein, can you tell me why the electricity is disrupting the power today? Please ask Mahama to address the electricity crisis immediately and stop the commentary being aired today. Quote from Techimai. Please. Was saying that government is a continual, but why is the MPP man so confused about that? Okay, I don't get your question very well. I'm Emmanuel from Drobo. MPP is a party of thieves and criminals and allowed to rule Ghana again. All they like is looting. Okay, I think if you can make a statement devoid of interest. Is the wife now his doctor? Why can the medical facility in which Ken is being treated issued an official medical report to the OSP explaining his circumstances? Okay. I don't know the way. Hussein, 1 minute. 1 minute. Ken wife say I acquire successful surgery.
Oh well, say no crazy say no home fano. E mo ba surgery there. You nyame ase. So wetin my successful. On say dey na better na fidi kasa fidi so na mo ka kire me say prostate cancer.
Yeah.
And na make say prostate cancer dey idea even what time for cry no boss I are running at them because your back says not spread the bone marrow. It means yes, radical no more the man no. But I'm spreading us say confined. They bit my radical to say my yaman no. Tia bomb say or very covert no baby Ghana for kwanya ofa so e manage e Ghana yesika sem ne nema ye no de ye den ye bompa ne free na another thing so me pese me kan ye wo hwe enema ye doctor kan ni nyina no se me ko boss say doctor mo entina dum so ho anka asema ba say dem ka dia say doctor mo sunti e na de galam say ye kun ye gusu aye kun aye hu adwuma asema ba nti say oje ade na onim say papa ne sa age de ye bone no enso so ka ho bi. But yeah, the see about to NDC, you see, we don't have any option than to execute the plans or the things that we think say yeah, a bit my Ghana across you know.
Right.
Into the Ghana phone you now say, ya bomba baso say maji abain tata ama ono susu guso o ye niema be boa Ghana economy. Na madam so mase eni chichiri mu amode ma Ghana for Ghana phone so tinema. Me da prof so ase.
Right, that's it. Unyanya prof Gtech for balance. Doctor. Gtech for balance. Doc, you may.
Yeah, doctor. I end it. Before me by myself, so I'm in Chenya.
1 minute would be entertain.
President Boachasari, or Boas, my classmate, I'm in the secondary school, Manchana, SMBC, and the Timothy Akono or Adansi Fuso, so or Shemi. Offer Ken, the end of the year, you see, penny forcing me shy, me yare. And
but also be besides, I then hospital no fire report to Manana Yere.
In the line of practice, no medical doctor or practitioner.
And everybody can medical
patients, medical records. About 12 wanting.
Say my clinic for the report to be by.
But Wama
details. Okay.
Because it is against the obedience with the hospital.
No, it's all about details. Yes, so suspect undergone surgery.
Because OSP is on requested.
Okay.
It's all requested now within the laws and in the professional code of conduct and any ethics. So it is allowed that you do it. But the point is that you see, say Ghana, Yamra and Makwan say you beat me at trial being abstention. There's a record precedent or her said the name Tamakulu. I asked one day, they say, no, there has been a judgment against her anytime you remember Ghana.
Don't know any of my
say Interpol or Cofanabra of a bed, the American say, when him says, Ken, a bus is here. No Cotana OSP anymore. No Busana question. No, so when he
has the right to remain silent.
Yes, he can remain silent.
Right.
So evidence.
That's it. Let us wait and see what the OSP would do. Therefore, how the Adwenkyere and see what Hussein Ibrahim can Wakasa at the ruling National Democratic Congress and Dr. Enoch Echampong and also electoral case also Kasab at the NPP Malam Yaya and above Simiano Maya, meaning the Kofi Appiah. Me watch na eni shell match medine so na nsemo aka ni na ye nto aso efamremo yakramo